he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
You make me happy. Thank y'all for joining us on the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. I am Garrett Charles Langley Henson.
And I am Terry Ricardo DeShazo the second. What's good, man? How's it going?
Apparently my name is not good, Terry. Garrett Charles Langley Henson was way too confusing for all the people who tried to help me when I go vote yesterday. For the second time in 4 years, they're like, we just can't find you. Oh, sorry. You can't vote. I'm like, look, bitch, I already looked up my voter registration. Like, search it by my birthday. Search it by my voter registration. All of a sudden, she's like, this is for Garrett Langley.
Oh my God. So is your name or is it not your name?
My name is my name. It's these people cannot understand that you have a double last name with no hyphen. They're just like, so what is it? Are you Charles Henson? No, that's my dad. So then you're Garrett Langley. No,
man.
The whole thing. It's just, don't ever give your kid 4 fucking names unless they're Hispanic and they drop one of them and only tell Hispanic people and just keep the other 3 for whites. Because these motherfuckers cannot understand it. And then I'm like trying to find a comparison. You know what I mean? I'm like, like Al Farouk Aminu, and the bitch is just staring at me.
I know you just give her an obscure basketball reference. Like, that's crazy. Oh, man. Nah, I mean, I go through it because I'm the second. So, like, I go through that. I either get my dad's credit score or they'll be like, yo, are you 64 years old? And I'm like, no. Like, look at me right now. Do I look like a 64-year-old, like, nurse to you?
Do you have a previous address in Vietnam?
Nah, that shit kills me, man. But hey, man, we're back. Look, everybody, look. Go. Cast a vote. You know, we're out here. Do your thing. Do your civic duty. You know, I've done mine. I always do mail-in.
And if you're in North Carolina, make sure you bring your ID because they won't let you fucking vote without that shit.
Swing state. We're a big-time swing state, dog. Yo, Kamala's across the street right now. Yeah. I remember I told you about that earlier. Kamala Harris is literally across the street at a concert venue near my house.
Yep.
Probably some of the most annoying traffic I've been in. You know, at 10:30 a.m. in the morning, it was like stop-and-go traffic on a side road in the middle of Raleigh. I'm just like, all right, man. Like, what's going on here? Bro, when they come through here, do you remember when you used to live in D.C.?
Yeah.
Did you ever see, like, the presidential barricade?
Yeah.
Not even a barricade, just like the what do you call them?
Convoy or whatever?
Yeah, the convoy. Like, they would just drive. They wouldn't have to shut down whole sections, whole roads. They came through here and they shut the highway off, bro. A major highway from city to city. They shut a whole section off from exit 295 to exit 285. They shut it down.
And the only way you'd find out about it is if you were listening to the radio on your way home from work the night before. Because it's like, how else am I going to fucking know that they're shutting down the highway?
It's absolutely insane. But before we get too deep into the pod.
Before we get too deep into Kamala Harris, I just want to say, I feel like she should be one of the greatest dancers of all time. Being half black and half Indian. You got the Bollywood fucking gigantic dance scenes that they love in every single movie. You got the black rhythm and movement and flavor. Why isn't Kamala Harris doing a fucking moonwalk out into her route? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, man. She married a white guy, so maybe some of the flavor is gone.
Ooh.
You never know. Look, I'm not saying every white guy doesn't have flavor, but
that's definitely her Indian side.
He definitely didn't get the black girl. What do you call it? Like the black girl transformation. Where they get the beard and shit. They start getting earrings.
The Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, man. But hey, look. Like the video, comment, subscribe, baby.
Let's get right to it. Let's talk about fucking beards, Terry. I had this team as the 3rd worst team in the Western Conference. I thought they were gonna fucking suck.
Who?
Turns out the beard and the Los Angeles Clippers may not suck. I may have written their obituary a little bit too early. It turns out if you just get 80% of old James Harden and a bunch of good defenders around him and 2 really good coaches on the sidelines, you're going to have a competitive basketball team.
Great home court advantage is kind of crazy too.
Brand new arena. They
dome.
got the wall there with everyone going crazy like it's a college atmosphere.
The dome.
And your boy, the Beard, James Harden, he is absolutely crushing it. He's averaging 25, 12 assists, 8.5 rebounds. He's actually beaten his man off the dribble with consistency.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He's doubled his free throw rate from last season alone. The Clippers are getting in the paint on a league high 68% of all their possessions. And you need to look no further than their game on Sunday against the Warriors, where Steve Kerr had them trapping him 40 feet away from the basket with 2 people. So
Jesus Christ.
I thought that this Clippers team was going to be a rough watch without Kawhi Leonard. I was like, we've seen this show and dance before with James Harden. And credit to your boy. He has come into the season in shape. He looks really, really good. The Clippers are tenacious and feisty. And your boy Jeff Van Gundy cooking up some magic on that sideline with Ty Lue.
Big Jeff. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. The Clippers do look decent. It is early, so I'm not gonna sit here and say like, they should be the world beaters and all that. But I mean, like when you look at the roster, it's still not a horrible roster. Like the names, but at the same time, 2-1. But surprising. James Harden is one of the best fucking offensive basketball players in our generation. So I'm not surprised by him doing his thing, even though he likes to look like he's not in shape. Although we both know, like, for him to do what he does, he's in great shape. Like, we like to pick at people that don't look like they're the most muscular person in the world. The dude's in great shape. If he can do that,
but to be fair, we've seen him at times not be in great shape. Like every time he wants to get traded, like he was in Houston where his belly was out. Or in Brooklyn, where his belly was out, or in Philadelphia, where his belly was out, and he wanted to get traded to the Clippers. Now the belly is tucked. He's looking like Rick Ross out here, a new svelte version.
At this point, I think for sure he was wearing a bodysuit. I think for sure it's just all a facade, straight bodysuits now. Now, I thought it was a lie before, but now I know he definitely put on a bodysuit, bro. There's no way.
He ordered the MyPillow. He was like, oh. You can fluff it. You can stuff it. You can get traded to another team.
Yeah, not for sure. He definitely put a bodysuit on.
I thought the Clippers are going to be worse than the Spurs when I did my rankings. So far, Clippers
it's early, man.
Yeah. It's early. We'll see how James Harden can hold up. But I may have not counted the addition of Jeff Van Gundy enough on that sideline. I think is the thing I was missing.
Yeah, he's a good coach. For me, on my side, first week observations, let's go ahead and do mainstream type shit. Let's keep it in LA.
Hey.
Shout out to my boy JJ Redick. He's doing his thing. I kind of like some of the actions they're doing, man. The only thing I would say is they definitely need 1 or 2 people for the bench, but with the starters, they're dominating with the starters, man. The starting group, every first and third quarter come out to huge leads, but then they kind of just lose it in the second and fourth just because the bench squad comes in. But I think maybe 1 or 2 people, maybe Vincent, might have to go. I know that the D'Lo contract is tough to get away from, but Lakers look pretty good. And LeBron's not doing a whole lot. AD's finally taking the keys. I like it. JJ Redick not throwing his players under the bus during the press conference. He's saying, no, I got to coach better, in those certain situations when they lost. So I like it. They look good. Yeah. Win these games early so you can kind of rest LeBron on the back end, and I think they can do some things. Shout out JJ, man. They look good.
He's pushing all the right buttons. He's grinding tape in the car wash, running into Gilbert Arenas or Baron Davis or whoever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a sicko. They're like out of bounds plays immediately are the best in the league. Like they're out of timeout plays, they're sideline out of bounds plays.
ATOs.
Like, they're automatically now the best in the league overnight.
Jackson Hayes lobs and stuff. Yeah.
Suddenly he looks like he has a role. JJ did well by putting Bronny out there in the first game and being hey, we're not going to let this shit follow us. Like there's not going to be a Bronny watch. Go out here, play fucking 2 minutes together, and then we're going to put you in the G League for the next 40 games.
Yeah, but I'll give Bronny credit that first game. He hit a little defense on Anthony Edwards. If he would have hit that 3, Arena would have went crazy.
That would have been a moment.
I will say for the 2 minutes he was out there, I was like, he doesn't look lost. Looks like a player. Yeah, looks like a player.
He looks just as bad as Cam Reddish.
He looks better than Gabe Vincent at times.
Yeah. The one thing I really like that JJ's doing is they've made an effort to play through AD instead of like playing through LeBron all the time.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for sure.
Right now, AD is like, I mean, he's leading the league in scoring, 33 points a game. He's averaging 12 boards, 2.5 blocks, a much larger role in LA's offense. And the thing that I really like, he is finishing 8 plays a game with a drive, and his free throw rate is up past double what it was last season. Not his 3-point rate. I was concerned coming into this year that, Anthony Davis is going to take a bunch more shots, and they're all going to be 3-point shots. No, he's getting to the rim. The spacing was looking better. Austin Reeves is running out of the fucking paint and dragging his man away so AD can go one-on-one. And, I mean, he's getting to the line 8.5 times a game. That's excellent. That's excellent. And that's a different identity for the Lakers, where we've kind of waited for the torch passing moment, and it seems like it's kind of we'll see what happens in the playoffs, but at least in the regular season, it looks like, hey, this is AD's team, and he's the first banana now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree 100%. Besides that, is it your go? Yeah, it's your go for second.
You actually, Lakers are my second one, so great minds think alike there. My next one after that, the OKC Thunder are playing the best defense in the NBA and might have one of the best defenses in NBA history.
60 wins. Easy.
Watching the Atlanta Hawks play against them earlier this week was a tough watch, bro. Like, they don't really have anyone else besides Trae Young who can dribble, with Bogey being hurt. And Trae Young had a nightmarish night. He had a career high 10 turnovers. He scored like 14 points. But it wasn't really about Trae Young having a bad night. It was more about the Thunder just double teaming him, putting elite defenders on him constantly, forcing him into help, forcing him into situations where they can get their hands into passing lanes. And it hasn't just been Trae Young this season who struggled. The top 5 guards that OKC has faced for this season have combined for more turnovers than assists. And they've played some really good ones. Not a single player actually this season in a single game has posted more assists than turnovers against them in terms of point guards. Their defensive turnover rate this year, Terry, is 20%. In other words, teams are turning the ball over 1 out of every 5 possessions against the Thunder. This might be the best defense that I've seen in the last 10 years. They traded their weakest link on defense, Josh Giddey. They don't have to worry about him anymore. They retained all the other good defenders on their roster. And they have like a good mix of youth, which is important for defense, experience, where you have to be in the right spots, and continuity that they've had with the same group. Oh, and then they added 2 fucking elite defenders in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. And Hartenstein hasn't even gotten to play yet. This OKC defense is a goddamn monster. The game turned against Atlanta when they played Alex Caruso at center, and then he just fucking locked up everybody. Nobody could get past the free throw line. And I think he played center for 8 minutes, and they went plus 22 in those 8 minutes. So I'm just so impressed with what I see by OKC. I think they're a fucking monster, and they may have the best defense I've seen in a long, long time.
No, they look awesome. They look awesome. I saw a little hint of like that Hawks OKC game. I didn't think it was as bad as you saw it. Like, I know, and you're a fan, so you'd see a different lens on it. You know what I'm saying? But it's OKC's fucking gonna be awesome. We said it, in our preview. You talked about it for a while. They're a great fucking team. I mean,
yeah, I thought they'd be like top 5 in offense and defense. They're going to be like top 1 on defense and top 3 on offense. Man. And this is a fucking juggernaut.
Yeah, we're going to have to see playoff-wise because SGA is going to be the leader and he's still pretty young along with like Chet. And they don't really have a vet that can really calm it down because it's so funny how the playoffs just are completely different than what the regular season is. But don't be Dallas, back when the We Believe Warriors beat that 1-8 I need to see some consistency when the playoffs come around, but they are playing great. It should be another like 60 plus win season. Not another, but like close to. Did they win 60 last year? Or was it 57? I forget, but
something close to it. I don't know if they
really
were
good.
59 or 61.
Yeah.
They probably were 59.
The surprise for me, another one during this first week, the Golden State Warriors. They look a lot better than what I thought. Now I get they haven't really played anybody great yet, but last night after watching them with no Steph Curry, because all I said was, look, I love Steph. Draymond's okay, but the rest of the roster, I'm not sure. Buddy Hield. He's balling, bro. He's absolutely balling. That 3-ball was falling crazy last night. They pretty much took care of the Pelicans easy. Like, it wasn't really much of a competition. They had them by at least 10 to 7 points, like the whole game. Finish them out, fourth quarter, ended up winning, I think, by like 14 or 15, maybe even more.
A game that they never would have won in the last 5 years.
Never. Not absolutely never. So, like, hats off to Steve Kerr. You bobbled Team USA, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You bottled that. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. Jason Tatum came out, like, scored fucking almost 40 points on the Knicks, you asshole. It's Steve Kerr's fault because of that. I'm blaming only him. But yeah, man, they look great. The system looks great. When Steph gets back, I got to see him versus some better teams, but, when we were talking about it, we weren't sure if the Warriors would be a play-in team or maybe an A seed, sneak in. I don't know. So they're playing great, man. They're playing great right now. So
they
wasn't surprised.
Yeah. Buddy Hield, he's like, wait, all I have to do is run around screens and shoot threes? That's the whole offense? I don't have to dribble? I don't have to, like, make swing passes? I could just run around, pin downs, and shoot? Fuck yeah. Here we go.
Shame on Philly.
Yeah.
It's putting them on the bench.
It's looking good out there, and the depth is looking really nice. The pieces are starting to fit together. They did just drop Kuminga to the bench, which I think is probably a good move, considering they're kind of hurting for spacing. They're trying to do this
man.
Same thing again. We'll just have 2 really good shooters and nobody else can shoot. Like, I don't they need at least 3 out there if Draymond's going to be there.
Is there any team you think right now that can, like, win with no spacing?
No.
Maybe the Magic is the only team I can kind of think about.
Yeah, maybe them, and even them, like Franz Wagner is shooting almost 50% on his threes and everything far. Yeah, they're actually shooting really well. We'll see how they look once that cools off a bit.
I'm gonna need a bigger sample size on that, Franz.
Yeah, and even the other team that had like really bad space in the Cavs, they're staggering Mobley and Allen. They're not playing them together as much, and that paint is wide open now. So. I don't think so in this NBA, man. I don't think so. Even with, like, the Timberwolves last year, at least Towns could shoot. Like, the Warriors might be the only team I can think of in the league that plays 2 non-shooting bigs still.
I mean, but we're talking, like, absolutely can't shoot a 3 at all because Draymond, his shit is just...
Yeah, like...
Him and Rudy Gobert need to do a 3-point contest. I need to see the allegations. I need to see who can shoot better. He tied, Kevin Hart in a 3-point contest?
If they have that contest, we need to reinforce the backboard somehow.
Nah, for sure. Fucking for sure. Make it not glass anymore. I don't even know what you need to make that out of.
But yeah,
what do you got?
The Warriors look good. On the other side, on the East, another team with MVP player who won a championship with a veteran coach. Not looking so good. And that's the Milwaukee Bucks. Terry, I'm officially concerned. Damian Lillard looks re-energized.
Yeah.
He looks to have better feel in the pick and roll. That's about all I can say so far for the Bucks. That's positive. Their perimeter defense is still absolutely abysmal. We saw Kobe White and Zach LaVine combine for 60 points in a game against the Bulls in which nobody else in that roster could really score. Then the next night or 2 nights afterwards, Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder dropped 61. Doc Rivers, for some reason, is like not playing Lillard and Giannis together more than like 8-10 minutes a game and is staggering the 2 of them.
That's dumb.
Going into last night's game, Damian Lillard has run more pick and rolls with Bobby Portis than he has with Giannis this season.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't run one inverted pick and roll where Giannis is the ball handler and Lillard is the screener. which was like their best action last year in terms of points per possession.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what Doc Rivers is doing here. Like, they're playing 2 players in a deep drop. They're trying to ice all these pick and rolls. They're getting scored like 1.4 possessions or points per possession when they try to ice shit. Like, there's no connection between the front line and the perimeter defenders. There's no plan for like pushing them into help. It's just like, we'll try to ice, we'll get too wide, they'll dribble around us, and then we'll scramble to try to get back to the weak side corner to contest this wide open 3. And it's just happening over and over and over again. And it's like, hey, if you guys are fucking lost on defense, all right, if you don't have a plan for Brook Lopez, if your guards can't keep anybody in front of them, and then the best thing about this whole roster, the pick and roll between Giannis and Dame Lillard is not being utilized. What the fuck? What is your plan on to win? Because I don't see one so far, and it's making me nervous.
No, I agree with you 100%. They're an average basketball team with Doc Rivers as the basketball coach. Honestly, they're below average. I think I want to say this, and I'm going to have it concrete on wax. They're 19-23 with Doc Rivers. Don't mark my words, but I'm going to just put it out there.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
They're not great, man. And, all this 3-1, oh, don't worry about the 3-1 losses. Doc, he'll get it together. Not looking too good out there in Milwaukee. I don't like it. And I didn't have the heart to put Milwaukee as like a 7 seed when we were doing our predictions because that's a little risky because Giannis is there. But this roster is not it. You can't just throw out shooters and be like, oh, yeah, you guys got this. It's the same old, same old. The perimeter can't play defense. We know Dame is one of the worst defenders, perimeter-wise, like in the past 10 years. He's been one of the worst defenders outside of Trae Young and like a couple people, but he's a horrible perimeter defender. Gary Trent Jr., not the greatest defender I've ever seen in my life. Taurean Prince, he's okay. You guys are getting torched by Cam Thomas, Zach LaVine. Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
The real disappointing one for me has been DeLon Wright. Because it's like,
DeLon Wright?
You're supposed to be good at fucking defense, bro. You're supposed to be the best pick and roll defender on the roster.
Is he knocking threes down, though?
No, he's not doing anything. He's running into screens and getting crunched instead of navigating them. Like, he's forcing Brook Lopez to switch on to fucking guards. Like, the whole thing is just a goddamn disaster. And it's like, hey, if you're not going to be the best perimeter defender on this roster, dude, DeLon Wright, like, this team is going nowhere. If they're going to have, fucking, what's that white guy, the high jumper?
Pat White. Oh, Connaughton?
Yeah. If they're going to have him out there trying to be the stopper, the season is sunk. Y'all are going to the play-in.
Yeah. They're going to be in trouble, man. Let's keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Let's keep it pushing. Big surprise for me. Not a huge surprise, but Indiana. I'm going to go on the negative side. Come on, boys. Let's get it together. We don't need a 1-3 start from Indiana, man. Y'all made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Gave it a nice little scrappy fight. I need something better. Carlisle, I don't like you. You look like Jim Carrey. Stop playing and act like you don't. Keep dressing like him for Halloween if you want to. I just don't. I tried to tell you, man. I am a little bit shocked. But saying I told you so just doesn't feel right. I want them to actually play good because I like Halliburton. I like Tyrese Halliburton. I think that streak of games when he was getting like 25 and 12, 15 assists, I think that is him. I don't think he's a guy who can't shoot threes and like can't, make an open shot. That's not him at all. But I just don't like what I'm seeing from them so far. They don't really look like a gel team. And I know like Mathurin, they kind of have to get used to him being back in the lineup. He missed most of that playoff run last year, but
I like what he's providing.
Yeah, no, he's great, but I feel like people are just not like, I don't know, they're not clicking.
No, and I think what you pointed to it is like the biggest difference in the lowest hanging fruit is that Tyrese Halliburton went from being an MVP candidate to a fringe all-star player in terms of like the quality of his performances. And that's the biggest jump in all of basketball. These are the guys who always win most improved player. It's like, oh, you went from a guy who's scoring 20 to scoring 28, and his team went from winning 35 games to winning 48. You know what I mean? And this is the guy that we were expecting to see from Tyrese Halliburton, considering he's had plenty of time to heal up, considering that he was elbow to elbow with, the best of the best in the NBA playing for Team USA. Great. Considering that, like, he should carry himself now a bit different. Like, hey, I am in the same class as these guys. And the fact of the matter is, he's not shot the ball well. He's not been aggressive. He's turned the ball over more than we're used to seeing from him. And he hasn't been the, like, one-man engine that can propel an elite offense that we saw for the whole first half of last season.
Yeah, it's the assists. He's not getting a lot of assists either. Like this year, he's only averaging like 5 assists, I think.
He's not getting into the teeth the same way he was before either. And I think a lot of it is people aren't afraid of him shooting threes. So they're going under on screens. You know what I mean?
26% from 3 so far this year.
Yeah, when you're shooting, he was shooting like 41, something like that, back when he had those MVP. That changes the entire way that people are allowed to defend him. And it's like, and he was popping it too. He was like, oh, you're going under? Guess what? Pop. Oh, you're going to miscommunicate this switch? Step back. Pop.
Yep.
Now it's like under, switch. And he's having to, bring other people up, manufacturing like the penetration off of like pick and roll type of stuff instead of just getting by his man. And it's kind of changed the complexion of their offense. Now, I think he can get back to where he was. I think the Pacers' pace is going to play it's going to play a big role in this, especially with like how long the season is. Yeah. Everybody can run during the first week of the NBA season. Let's see how willing you guys are to run fucking 70 games into it. And I think that will help them, but they definitely have some work to do.
They need to play better defense too. They're just letting dudes, especially the guards, just kill them. Like Maxey had 45 on them the other night.
Yeah.
Easy 45.
Well, what did he take, 30 shots? It was something crazy.
It might have been, but at the same time, it was like, it was there, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he didn't.
And it's like, who else is going to shoot on the Sixers with Paul George and then beat out? Andre Drummond? No, you get that offensive rebound, you don't even look at the rim. You pass that shit back out.
Yeah, man. But nah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as last year, though. But you're right. Halliburton, there's more evidence of Halliburton shooting 39% from 3 than he is 26%. But still, I need a little bit more from you, man. You got to be better. If he's going to play like this, they might be even worse than what I said. I think I gave them, 7 seed? I thought I was tripping.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. Let me see. Where'd I put these boys at when we did our preview? Pacers 7. I put them at 7. You were shocked.
Yeah.
I'm sure the world was shocked. Not gonna lie. I was talking to a lot of people. They were like, yo, you think the Pacers are going to suck? I was like, a lot of injuries. Lucky little run. I don't see him doing anything, but this is bad. I don't like this.
Yeah. I wish this is like a more positive R5 observations, but mine have been.
That was the only one negative, man. All the other ones were positive.
Mine have been overwhelmingly negative.
I thought yours were positive. You had OKC, Lakers.
Yeah, those are two.
Good.
My other 3 all negative. And here's another negative one. Even Nikola Jokic can't save this Nuggets bench and Russell Westbrook. The Nuggets, they played Jokic in all but 3 minutes of the second half in a game against the Raptors in which they needed every single one of those minutes to go to overtime and get their first win.
They went to OT with the Raptors, too?
Yeah, they went to OT with the Raptors.
Because they went to OT with the Nets last night, I think.
Yep. Bruh. Jokic played 44 minutes on the end of a fucking back-to-back.
Jesus. Joel Embiid would never.
They benched Dario Saric and didn't play him at all in the fourth quarter and went straight to Aaron Gordon at center. They essentially played an 8-man rotation in the third game of the season against one of the worst teams in the NBA and went to overtime to win it.
That's crazy.
And the story is the same as it's always been, except much, much worse. The Nuggets starters have a plus 14 net rating. Their bench has a minus 18.
There you go. Don't start doing that shit you guys always do. Oh, Jokic's net rating is a plus 6,000. He deserves to be the MVP. It's a plus 10 million. Like, come on, man.
I do agree.
The bench is bad. Stop doing that shit. You guys already did it, though. It's too late. If he fucking runs it up again,
What?
MVP his ass. Don't start reversing it.
I tell you what's going to juice those numbers is Russell Westbrook coming off the bench and leading the offense from the bench, bro. If you want the disparity to be huge, let's continue doing what we've been doing. Because Russell Westbrook, just horrible. Going into the game against the Nets last night, Terry, he was averaging 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 turnovers in 20 minutes per game. And the worst part, Terry, he has not been the worst bench player on the Nuggets that's played significant minutes. Dario Saric looks like he should be out of the league. He signed to them on a 2-year deal for the full mid-level exception. He has a player option for next season. Guess what? He's picking that up.
Yeah,
he's not a rotation player anymore, bro. Through 3 games, he has 2 points. He shot 1 through 7 from the field. He's attempted 1 3-pointer on the season. He might be the worst defensive player in the entire NBA. He played 4 minutes in an overtime win against the Raptors. The Nuggets have no money to improve their bench. They had no money to spend this offseason. They spent it all on Russell Westbrook and Dario Saric, who might be the 2 worst bench players in the entire league.
Yeah, I mean, I think yesterday. Did you watch the game yesterday?
The one against the Nets? No,
the Nets. Yeah. So I think from the first 3 games, because I gotta watch Jokic because he's just a fucking maestro. So I didn't watch every single minute, but the first 3 games, Westbrook was definitely trying to do the whole Bruce Brown thing. Do some off-ball shit and shooting threes when we know he can't shoot. Yesterday, it seemed like they're like, all right, man, look, you run the bench squad, and you got it. You got the bench squad. For every minute that you're in with the bench, you do your thing, and we'll just, it is what it is. It seemed like it was okay. I mean, he scored 22. It wasn't the most efficient thing I've ever seen, but he looked better than what he was just doing all the off-ball bullshit. But I will say, I don't know what the numbers are when him and Jokic are on the court, but I'm sure it's tragic.
Yeah.
I don't think they can play on the court at the same time. I know we were talking about it in the beginning, and it's really early. We're speaking possibly in just too extreme, but it looks bad when they're on the court together because he just can't shoot at all. It's like you can't. It's like you can't have him, Aaron Gordon, and Jokic on the court at the same time. You can't have him, Jokic, and then another non-shooter. It's impossible because this dude plus when he's open, he's going to shoot it because he's Russell Westbrook.
That's the worst part.
he's doing what he's Russ. He's got the most confidence probably of anyone in the NBA. So it's he's going to shoot it, man.
And
you don't need to, though.
And you see it in his drives, too. This unfounded confidence where he gets, way too deep, will be in midair under the basket and is coming down and is like, I got to get rid of this.
It was crazy. I mean, but look, though, last night it was 21 minutes, 22 points. Yep. He helped them win the game, but
he did. But one thing I'll say is, Terry, as fast as you can, name the Nets backup point guard.
The Nets back? No, I'm not doing it.
As fast as you can. Quickly, go.
Nope.
What's his name? Who's the guy who Russell Westbrook was competing against? Tell me his name.
I don't even want to look at the roster.
Say his name.
I don't know. Who is it?
I don't know either. And that's
Finney
why
Smith?
Russell Westbrook, no. It's like a G League guy. Some
Zaire
guy.
Williams?
No, it's Somebody Johnson, some light-skinned guy I've never fucking heard of who was
Keon Johnson?
Nope.
Oh, the dude from Tennessee?
I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but that's who Russell Westbrook is playing against. So I think
they got him listed as a Brooklyn Nets small forward / shooting guard. He's 6'3". I don't know. They got a bunch of dudes. I mean, I've heard of Zaire, but Jalen Wilson. They got Shake Milton.
Oh, that's who it is. Jalen Wilson.
Is Jalen Wilson the backup PG?
Yeah. Jalen Wilson. That's who Russell Westbrook was playing against.
Really?
That's the reason he had 20 points.
Damn.
It's that simple.
Legit, they actually do not have another point guard.
No, it's Jalen Wilson. All right, Wilson, I'm telling you. I saw them. I watched the whole game when they played the Hawks. He actually played decent. He was cooking Trae Young. I'm just saying, this is a guy who's not an NBA rotation player. So it's no surprise to me that Russell Westbrook going against a guy who shouldn't be playing in the NBA can score 20 points against the garbage.
He absolutely destroys him. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it'll probably just be Russell running the bench squad. And that's his best thing, though. He has to do that, or otherwise he's kind of useless. What do you like if he's on your team? What are you using him for? If you unfortunately are the head coach and your GM got him on your team, what do you use him for?
Every time somebody slips and falls, he can get out there with the mop and get up the moisture.
Come on.
Make sure that we don't have any torn ACLs, Russell Westbrook. That's your job.
Big time.
Protect the team, Russ.
Big time help. But no, seriously, what do you think you would actually use him for? I don't really know. I think for me, it would be like, look, get the fucking rebound and just go. And if you don't got it, give it to somebody else. Stand in the or be the pick man. You gotta be the pick man.
I guess what I would try to use him for is like the minutes that Aaron Gordon isn't here. Be like, can you just be a miniature Aaron Gordon and don't do any of the shit that you normally just do what Aaron Gordon does. You're not gonna be as good at it. You're not gonna be like getting as many offensive rebounds. But could you be 70% of Aaron Gordon? That's probably what I'd say.
Be Kenneth Faried. Can you do that?
How the mighty have fallen. How the mighty have
fallen.
Yo,
but like, he scored 22 in 21 minutes. I'm not saying he's not.
Boy,
good.
A gigantic bee just flew into my house across my face. What the hell?
Damn, Doc. Oh, shit. No, I was about to say, no, like, it's not like he's not horrible. I would say he's like slightly above average still.
Yeah.
But you just have to figure out what to do with him. Like, he can be the rebound and push dude like the Knicks use Josh Hart. But then also, they use Josh Hart as like a screen guy.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if like the last, Ty Lue maybe a little bit, and the Lakers tried it, but not as much. Darvinham's not a great coach, but like, you got to use him as a pick. He's a pick guy. Don't use him as just a dude that's just standing there for spacing. Not going to work.
I tell you what, the Nuggets, they better be happy that Jokic ain't black, because if he was, he would have already requested a trade by now. Can you name another like NBA superstar like the level of Jokic that would see this roster around him and be like, yeah, I'm going to stick this out through the rest of my 4 years that are still on my deal?
Just Steph.
Nobody, maybe Steph.
Yeah, just Steph.
Nobody else. There's not another fucking like top 15 player in the NBA that would sit around and be like, yeah, I'll just waste the rest of my prime with this group. Could you imagine how quick Kevin Durant would have pulled the plug on this fucking Nuggets team?
Nah, he played with Westbrook for like 7-8 years. He knows what that guy plays like.
Yeah, as soon as they signed him, he would have been like contacting his lawyers. I was actually hypnotized when I signed my contract, and it's not legally valid.
Nah. At this point, KD has a clause in his contract that says you cannot sign Russell, and if you do, I get traded the next day. Straight up, I can't be with this guy anymore.
But yeah, I think this is making me more sad than anything this whole NBA season is how like the Nuggets.
It'll be fine.
Nah, we don't need to go into luxury tax. Nah, we don't need to go into the first apron. Nah, we don't need to retain any of our players. I tell you what, the little money we do have, let's spend it on Russell Westbrook and Dario Saric.
I think they'll be fine, bro. They'll be fine.
And Zeke Naji. Let's give him a 4-year extension, even though he's not been good for the last 4 years.
Hey, let's move on.
All right.
For me, I'm going back straight to my boy Zion. Just being healthy, just keeping it moving, just continuously playing in a bunch of games in a row. Not playing great, but I don't care. As long as he's in the NBA, I'm completely fine with it. I'm keeping it fun. I'm keeping it light. I just love that he's playing. He's been healthy for a long stretch, dude.
Yeah.
I think did he miss some of the playoffs last year though?
Yeah, he got hurt. Was it after the first play-in game, and then couldn't play the second play-in game of the first round?
Man, just stay in, bro. If you give me 68 games again, I'll take it, dude. I will take it. And last night he played great. They just,
The problem is like 68 games really at what position?
They got a bunch of different things last night that I saw. It was some guard stuff. some, post up stuff, some cut and slash, some like if they kind of played like a zone, he was in the middle, playmaking a little bit. He did a lot of different things. Honestly, they lost last night because CJ McCollum literally just couldn't hit a fucking shot. Like he played like ass. It was kind of crazy. CJ might be the one to get the fuck up out of there because
he's
not really good.
Oh, really? You don't like having a 6-foot starting point guard who doesn't really pass or play defense?
You're talking about him or Alvarado? Oh, you said defense. No, Alvarado can play defense.
Yeah,
Alvarado.
Yeah. I'm talking about CJ, who's like, how many teams in the league could you still start for? Like, this is fucking ridiculous. You're a 6th man, buddy. We've known it for 7 years.
Man. He's an 8th man. Hey, no disrespect. He can still get buckets, but at what rate? It's not at a starting rate.
No.
I don't think it's at a starting rate at all. So
yeah.
Zion, stay healthy though. Keep it moving. Keep it going. You guys got it.
I don't have any more NBA stuff for you, Terry. I had 5 NBA joints, and then I could always talk about the Atlanta Hawks for 30 minutes continuously.
No,
but
we don't need that. Nobody cares.
Let's move over to the NFL then, man. We didn't get a chance.
We have to?
We didn't get a chance to talk about him last week. I know that you don't want to talk about him this week. So let's get right to it, Terry. Your Chicago Bears blew it in the fourth quarter. It wasn't just one play. Everybody wants to be like, oh, we saw the video of Tyreek Stevenson talking shit to the fans, having his back turned to the play for the first 2 seconds, running across the field into a scrum of people, and then tipping the ball up in the air like you're setting it for a teammate in volleyball. We all saw that. What some people maybe didn't see is you handing the ball off to a backup offensive lineman on 3rd and goal from the 1 yard line.
That was crazy.
What people didn't see was you playing Hail Mary defense when they still had like 15 seconds left in the game and giving up an easy 15-yard pass to actually put them in Hail Mary defense.
Mm-hmm.
What people didn't see is the fact that you had a linebacker in spy coverage in Hail Mary defense.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Instead of having somebody in the back of the end zone for a tip. How effective was that spy, Terry? Were they able to limit Jaden Daniels from running around?
Yeah, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Look, I tried to tell you guys about Caleb Williams. Everybody's getting all excited and shit. It's awesome when someone shows you glimpses of something when there's a bad defense, because still there are some quarterbacks in the league that still look absolutely trash versus bad defenses. And we just know that they're bad. Malik Willis. Shout out to you. But the Washington Commanders defense isn't even that good. They've given up 20 plus points to a lot of people this year. And we're only in week 7, week 8 or something like that. My man Caleb was 10 for 24, 131 pass yards in this NFL. Not going to work.
I think he had like 40 at halftime.
Yeah, it was horrible. He was looking like Anthony Richardson out there. I was like, yo, what's going on? And Anthony Richardson, by the way, is getting benched for Joe Flacco coming into this next week.
Don't worry. He's next. We'll get to him.
But just the Hail Mary. I thought that we were done just playing Hail Mary defense. I thought that we figured out if you blitz on the Hail Mary, that's it. And you're just doing stupid-ass laterals and the game is pretty much over. I guess I'm just an idiot because I've been doing that in Madden since 95. So it's like...
And it always works every time.
Yeah, like you get no fucking time to pass the ball. It's over. I've seen it in college a bunch. I've seen a couple NFL teams do it, but...
I will say I saw the Eagles try to do that to us 5 years ago. And we called a bubble screen and Julio took it 60 yards to the house to win the game.
Yeah,
so
but
there is some risk to that type of shit. Maybe not call an all-out engage 8 blitz.
No,
you know what I mean?
But rush. If you rush 6, just rush 6.
Yeah.
You got fucking 5 still back there. Like, come on, you're good. Whatever, bro. The defenders, they just went for the ball. They went for the glory. They all were just on some dumb shit. Shit happens. We lost. Stevenson, you're probably going to get reamed in the film room for a while. But, one loss, we move on. I think we're still 4-3, if I'm not mistaken. Our division's tough, but we'll keep it moving, man. I'm really still more concerned about Caleb Williams, and everybody just wants to keep skipping by it.
Yeah.
He's not giving me a whole lot sometimes. It's kind of pissing me off.
He looked
especially
better
with the receivers that we have.
He looked better in the second half. I'm still frustrated as a Keenan Allen fantasy owner. I'd like to see a little bit
No
more
explosions, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a bunch of explosions, man, unless they play some bad teams. You need to get rid of them. It's over for that.
But
that shit's done.
I think the funniest part of it all was the handoff to the backup offensive line.
The fucking
lineman.
Yeah.
I think he was like, "We're bringing back the fridge."
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't imagine. I haven't seen something like that in years, bro.
Yeah.
that was something special. And then, of course, he fumbled it. It's like he doesn't know how to fucking carry the ball. He's carrying it like a fucking loaf of bread. Somebody punches it out.
Crazy. But shout out to Jaden Daniels, though, man. That was a hell of a throw. That was, like 65 yards in the air or something? Yeah. I heard some people say, like, oh, he threw it. It was kind of short. It wasn't even that great of a throw.
Yeah.
He had fucking broken ribs. And he didn't even, like, really I thought he could have thrown it further, yeah, but, like, he had to run around, get away from a sack, run around again, not get hit, throw it 65 yards, touchdown.
Well,
Jaden Daniels is good.
Good news for him. There wasn't a next play that he'd be too tired to go in for after doing all that running around. Unlike our boy Anthony Richardson, that's something that I've never heard before, seen before. Like, this is a new moment to me where a quarterback
out.
checks himself out of the game, and they're like, "What's going on? You get a hit to the head? You need to go to the tent? Is your ankle hurt?" And he goes, "No, coach, I'm tired."
Hey, man. It's exhausting running around, huh?
Hey, Shane Steichen said, "All right, go be tired on the fucking bench, dog." He completed 10 of 32 passes. He took 5 sacks. He had an interception, and it was one of the best games of his career. On the season, Anthony Richardson is completing 44% of his passes, Terry.
Yep.
44. Since 2000, there have been 826 quarterbacks who have thrown at least 100 passes through the first 8 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 826 players, Terry, Anthony Richardson's completion percentage ranks 823rd.
Whew. Damn, who's under him?
I don't know.
That would be... I got to see those names. Oh, my God.
And that is third worst of 825 players over the last 25 years.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's beyond bad. But we got to get a new adjective. That is ruin your franchise bad. That is set you guys back a half a decade bad.
So you think Joe Flacco gives them the best chance to win?
Absolutely.
For sure?
But it's like, who gives a fuck? You guys aren't going to win anything anyway. You might as well just see if Anthony Richardson can be on a pathway to being good this season. And that way you guys can move on next season. What's going to happen this year? You guys win fucking 8 games or 9 games, maybe sneak into the wild card so you can get blown out in the first round. And then next season, you're like, oh, yeah, we still have the number 2 overall pick that we trade up for on the roster. We don't know if he's good. We don't know if we should take another quarterback in the first round this year. Like, I understand that he sucks, but he shows you something every game that you're like, only 1% of guys can do that.
Yeah, man, but you got to do the shit that, like, 60% of the guys can do, too, though.
Yeah,
you got to be able to do the normal things.
That's been his problem, but it's like, dude, you got to give him time to do this shit. How many games does he start in the NFL? Like 6, 7? And, like, you're already pulling a plug on this guy? Yeah, I understand he hasn't inspired a lot of confidence, but how is he going to learn how to do this simple shit without reps? He didn't get reps in college. He only played, 18 games since he was in fucking high school?
He didn't play a lot of games.
So it's like, when are you expecting him to learn how to do this simple shit when every single week you jerk him around and put in Joe Flacco?
You're right. And I think it is dumb to me because I don't understand, like, what is the point of making the playoffs for them? Because you're not going to win the fucking Super Bowl.
You're not going to come close.
I don't understand, like, oh, our division's bad. We can sneak into the wild card. Who cares? Why do fans care about that? Do you care about, your team? Do you care about making the playoffs if you know your team's not going to make the Super Bowl? Playoff, like, the way the NFL works is it's the most parity, I would say, in any team sport, especially in America, where it's like, there's a legit chance if your team is below average, it can go from below average to really good the next year.
Yeah.
But you got to give yourself a chance to either get a good draft pick so you can make the team a little better, or have your players develop during the season this year so you can give yourself a chance to like hopefully win a Super Bowl. But just benching them for Flacco outright, you're not going to beat the Texans in your own division. Like, you saw that shit, Sunday. I mean, you got close games versus really shit teams. You won all your games at home. You're 3-1. Good shit. Every time you go on the road, you get slaughtered. You won one game. Just let Anthony T. Richardson just run around and do the stupid shit. See if he's good. See if he's not. But at least give it a try, man. Joe Flacco's 40-something. Like,
and give him time to play through his mistakes. Like, it's one thing that you're talking about, like, oh, we have a chance as a young ascending, like Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Yeah.
They should care about making the wild card. Like, them winning it would be a step forward. That would be momentum for next year.
Yeah.
Giving a young QB a taste of playoff experience. That's a team that should care about making a wild card. A team starting their backup quarterback should not care about making a wild card. There's not a lot to be gained from being in that situation. No. It's not like Joe Flacco is going to get better from having the experience of playing in the first round of playoffs. He's already won a fucking Super Bowl.
Not at all. And I'll say this too. Like, you're in a division with Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
Joe Burrow.
You're not going to beat those guys unless you get a quarterback that's really good. You got to go tit for tat, back and forth. You can't go back and forth with them. You got the best defense in the world, but if you can't score on the other end, it ain't happening. Anthony Richardson gives you a chance to extend plays, have things happen, bro.
And another thing, why can't they just run the fucking old school Seattle Seahawks offense and just be
action stuff?
Yeah, and guess what? We're just going to throw it 60 yards downfield 12 times a game. Like, we're fucking doing it.
I think it's just because he can't fucking make those throws.
He can. Those are the only throws he can make are 60-yard bombs. He can't make a 5-yard slant in front of his face.
Yeah, no, I thought you were thought you were talking about just like the play action, like Russell Wilson dinks and dunks.
No. Excuse me. Do the Joe Flacco back in Baltimore. Do the shit that worked for him. Where's Jacoby Jones? I'm throwing it 60 yards down the sideline. Yeah. Guess what? If they intercept it, it's just as long as our punt. The receiver can become a defensive back in midair. He can make the catch, or we could get a 60-yard pass interference. Like, why don't they just do that with Anthony Richardson? Be like, guess what? We're doing read options. We're doing a lot of quarterback carries. We're doing a bunch of bullshit with motion and everything like that. We're established the run game, and then boom, we launch it 60 yards 12 times a game.
I think it's because they don't really have the receiver for it. Like, I love Michael Pittman Jr., but I love Josh Downs at UNC, but I don't know. Maybe they just need one of those
like that.
Nah, or just like someone who can win a jump ball consistently.
Yeah,
they don't really have anybody like that, so it's tough. I don't know. I mean, but Anthony Richardson, he can throw the ball on his knees 78 yards, but he can't hit someone 5 yards running across the field. It's really interesting. It's like Donovan McNabb almost, bro. It's comical.
Yeah,
just get it together, my man. I think his ceiling is up there, but the basement is also as low as his ceiling is. If you get what I'm saying, it's insane. Too many highs and lows. Stop singing that Marvin Gaye song. Who sings that song? Ain't no ballet or something like. Who sings that shit?
Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye.
There you go. Yeah, come on, my dog. You got to start making that shit even out. I don't need mountains and valleys. Get it together.
Well, he's in a nuclear bunker. Fucking basement. He's fucking 30 stories. He's where Bane grew up in that goddamn hole.
I was born in the darkness.
Yeah. And then they said, you're going back to the darkness. Joe Flacco starting. Okay? Go take a seat in the darkness since you're so tired.
Weird decision. But I don't know. You never know how locker rooms work, man. But
you never know. You'd watch the Steelers locker room. You'd be like, oh, they're 4-2. Justin Fields hasn't turned the ball over. Why are they going to Russell Wilson?
Dude.
Turns out Mike Tomlin knew something that I didn't know, because the 2 games that Russell Wilson has played, he's actually looked really good. And then last week, he versus the Giants. Keep in mind, it's the Giants, but still, He went 20 for 28. He threw for almost 300 yards, threw for a touchdown. He was nailing the fucking deep shots down the sideline just like he always does. Wouldn't turn the ball over across the middle of the field. And that Steelers offense just looked really explosive. So do you think that this like Russ resurgence is real? And are the Steelers legit?
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's real or not, but some of it has to do with Russell just, I think he does have a better deep ball than Justin Fields, but also you got to give a little credit to Najee Harris and Jalen Warren in the run game, dog. The run game is just, it just makes it a lot easier for you, man. If you're running back and get you like close to, 80 to 100 yards a game, 5 yards a carry, 4.5 yards a carry, it just makes it really easy for you, man. So I feel bad because I really like Justin Fields, man, but is Mike Tomlin a way better coach than Sean Payton?
No shit.
I didn't know that. I mean, Sean Payton was a good coach. He just had a little, they had the bounty gate and all that that kind of fucked his reputation.
I'm the wrong guy to ask. I just hate him. He's my most despised coach in the NFL. I just think he's a piece of shit.
NFC South. I apologize. He was kicking y'all's ass for a while. Y'all had a nice back and forth, Saints and Falcons. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think about the Steelers with Russ, though? Like,
I think they're good with either one because neither one of them are making mistakes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders, but they are someone because they're not going to lose.
They're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah, they're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah.
You have to beat them.
That old quote, what was it, Herm Edwards, who was like, we can't play against two teams at once. Like, we can't play against them and play against us and expect to win.
When he had his shitty quarterbacks back in the day with the Jets.
They're not doing that at the Steelers. They're not playing against themselves, man. They're playing within themselves. They're not Kevin Love fitting out.
Bro.
They're fitting in.
I take it from me, who's a Bears fan, like, when you're playing a team and they don't turn the ball over, and every time you get the ball, you're always either at the 20 or even closer to your own end zone, and you don't have a good quarterback, fuck me. It's impossible, man. It's so hard, man, because then, like, eventually you'll just give up like 4 or 5 field goals, and you're like, all right, well, we can't score 20. We're going to lose.
That's how they beat us. They scored all field goals. They didn't have a touchdown. They still beat us in week 1.
Yeah,
so
the defense is really good, man.
I feel like I've maybe been sleeping a bit on the Steelers. I've been kind of waiting for the wheels to fall off a little bit and for Fields and Russ to turn into pumpkins at midnight.
Well, especially, Russ looked so bad with the Broncos, man.
They're not looking pumpkin-y. There's no pumpkin spice. I know it's that time of year, but they're looking consistent, man. And like, if they can continue to have a top 3 defense in the league and not turn the ball over and do all the simple things, they're going to put themselves in a position to be one of those last 4 teams with the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Bills, I think.
Yeah, and with the weather, during those times and around January, December, Steelers, they got a chance, especially with a good run game, good defense.
There you go.
Like, if the Chiefs' offense isn't going to be explosive, that might be a tough matchup. The Ravens' playoff-wise offense isn't always great. So, like, regular season, you never know how it's going to turn out once we get to the playoffs. But if nobody can score more than 20-something, Steelers might have a chance. But, Russell, as bad as you looked the last 2 years, I need more than 2 games.
Yeah.
I need more than 2 games.
That's fair to hold out. We need to see more from the New York Jets as well, but I don't know how much more time they have. Like, they have a 5% odds of making the playoffs. They lost again on Monday Night Football. They
got more primetime games coming up too.
They better get flexed.
Yeah.
They brought in Aaron Rodgers' best friend, Devontae Adams, and it looked like it still didn't change much because they don't have a coach.
No.
They changed their offensive play caller, which seemed like it helped things. But defensively, I forget. Oh, Jeff Olbrich. He was their linebackers coach and the defensive coordinator. He's the interim head coach now. And instead of him calling plays on defense, which, had led to them being one of the best defenses in the league. Now he's trying to manage the entire team, which he has no experience doing. He's been a position coach, not even a coordinator for his whole career. Yeah. And now he's turned over the defensive play calling to somebody else. My advice for Ulbrich, keep calling the defensive plays and turn over the head coaching to somebody else. Because on that Monday night game, the Jets used all their timeouts in the first quarter.
In the first half?
No, that was quick. The first quarter. They used all their timeouts in the first quarter. And it was all like procedural stuff. Like they just aren't aware that you only have 40 seconds in between plays. That guys are lined up in the wrong spot constantly.
Yeah.
Like even after they took their third timeout, they had another delay a game in the red zone right after that because they couldn't get fucking lined up in time. Like this is just a team that is completely rudderless. They might as well make Aaron Rodgers the head coach just so that they have one central like leader who everybody knows it's going to be his way. He'll talk to the media. It's just a guy who's like way above his head. He's drowning. He's been dog paddling and pumping his feet like he's on a bicycle for 4 weeks. They have no hope. And it's a tough watch considering all the talent that they had, but they mismanaged this situation from the very fucking beginning. And now it's like they're on an escape raft trying to make it back to shore, and they just better hope the current takes them there because they damn sure don't have a direction themselves.
Yeah, it's over. They're in trouble. They're bad. They gave up 25 points to the Patriots. This is a bad football team. There's nothing else to be said about it. Like, they suck. If their defense isn't going to show up, that's what you had. You're like, every week going in, I'd be like, oh yeah, Jets defense, they're going to be decent. They look bad. They look horrible. So defense is bad. Your offense, we know the O-line is horrible. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any time. For him to not have as many because they are on his ass quick almost every single game. And for him to not even throw a pick in this game is kind of, shout out to him, but he can't do it all. Devontae can't do it all. Garrett Wilson, as good as he is, they just can't do it all.
They can't even get lined up. What do you mean do it all?
I'm just saying it's tough because the O-line is bad.
They had two penalties where they had 12 men on the field. That's like
all coaching.
This is all the most lowest hanging like middle school coach football. Like, you should be able to iron this out. They can't get it fixed.
Do they look like a 2-6 team to you though? When you watch them, they're 2-6.
Yeah, they do.
That's crazy.
They do. What's the most that they've scored this season? Like 24 points?
Yeah, they can't score more than 25.
That's a 2-6 team.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll check. I'll see what their highest scoring game was. 25, 15 versus the Steelers, 20 versus the Bills, 17 versus the Vikings, 9 versus the Broncos, 24. Yeah, 24. That's the most they scored this year.
So it's like, I've read some articles diving into like taking a deeper dive in the Jets offense and showing the like signs for optimism and that they have a lot of like opportunities and the protection just had to hold up for a half second more, or Aaron Rodgers was looking on the wrong side of the field and this guy was open and, this type of stuff. But the bottom line is like Aaron Rodgers is going to have to pull an OG Aaron move and run the table if they want to make the playoffs. And I think it's just that simple.
Good luck. He's 40 years old. And, dude, you got to watch him tomorrow. They got the Thursday night game versus the Texans. And then November 17th, they better flex that game. They're playing the Colts Sunday Night Football. Please flex that. Absolutely not. Flex that. If you don't flex, I'm not watching that.
Who thought at the beginning of the year that was a marquee matchup?
I don't know, but that's crazy. I'd rather see the Chiefs than the refs again. Come on.
God.
The refs and the Chiefs versus anybody before I
coming
watch
up
that
Monday Night Football, the Tennessee Titans against the Jacksonville Jaguars being played in Frankfurt.
Yeah. That New England game. New England Jags, that was a crazy game. Woo! No, was it Panthers Patriots in London or something like that? Wasn't like that the last international game?
I know the Jaguars always play twice abroad. So I imagine
your boy's trying to leave.
Yeah.
He's trying to get out of Jacksonville.
Yep. Hey, man.
I don't know, man. They're bad.
Not looking good for the Jets. Nope. Not looking good for the Bears. Not looking good for the Colts. It's not looking good for a lot of people.
Cowboys.
Oh my! You want to talk about it?
They bring in the bacon. Let's talk about them. What do you think about the Cowboys?
Can't score against a banged up 49ers defense that's been below average all season long.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is making the highest percentage of like throws into tight windows of any quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody beyond CeeDee Lamb can get open. Their running back should be in the geriatric society.
Yeah, they don't have one. Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. And they're like, look how fresh Dalvin Cook looks. It's like, he's been washed for 4 years. This is how bad your running back room looks, that Dalvin Cook comes in and steals the starting spot overnight.
Yeah, he's super washed. He's so washed the enamels off of him. They washed the fucking, he's not, the skin bone is showing off this kid. He's done.
Bro, I heard a Cowboys fan made a diss track to the Cowboys, and it was set. It was set to Kendrick Lamar's one of the ones he did to Drake, the real slow one where he's like, "Dear Aubrey, blah 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 blah."
Oh, that's
yeah. And he was
Meet the Grams.
Yeah, he was just dissing fucking Dak Prescott the entire time. It was one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Nah, they're bad, man. I don't know what's going on. They suck. The 49ers are not any better though.
No,
that was a tough.
But I tell you what, it's not getting any easiasier for the Cowboys because you know who they play next week. You know who they play this week? It's the Atlanta Falcons, baby.
Oh, in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, they rolling into Atlanta, baby. Come on now.
You know what?
That Dallas defense that couldn't stop a fucking sneeze if they were wearing a COVID mask. Good luck stopping Kirk Cousins in this offense. Good luck stopping Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier.
Kyle Pitts, is he back?
He got so fucking lucky, Terry. He got so fucking lucky. That was a fumble. That was a fumble.
Is he back? Is he back though?
Back what?
Is he back being good again? Consistent. Should we keep him on fantasy? That's what I'm talking about.
You keep him on fantasy. He's not the guy that we thought he was going to be. Like we thought.
Are you giving him an opportunity?
Yes.
I don't watch you guys every week.
I mean, he's had 70 yards in his last 4 games, which is the first time since he played with Matt Ryan. He had his first 2 touchdown game last week, but it should have been a 1 touchdown game because he fucking dropped the ball behind him like Deshaun Jackson at the 1 yard line. Yeah. And somehow we don't have cameras on the fucking 1 yard line so we could line it up sideways. He got so lucky on that shit. Right. That's your home field and you guys got fucked by that. That's on you guys. But it seems like every game there's like a play where somebody just forgets about him and he makes like a 45-yard catch and then he doesn't do anything the rest of the time. And maybe have one more catch. So
it is always like one. Yeah.
No, he's not back. They're doing a great job scheming him, acting like he's going to block, and then somebody was like, "Oh, he's a blocker," and they look away, and he runs 40 yards down the field, and we throw it to him.
But so he's not doing great routes and all that type of shit.
No, he's not doing any of that shit. He looks like he can't change direction. He takes 12 steps every time he needs to change direction. The breakdown is so slow, it's ridiculous. It looks like a Patriots receiver from 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
We were the bill of goods that we were sold was that Kyle Pitts was going to be like Megatron playing tight end.
Yeah.
No.
I got you.
No.
All right. I'd be remiss if we don't have to talk about the Eagles thrashing of the Bengals. That was of all the games I was watching on Sunday, that was probably the most random one, I would say. 37-17.
Yeah. Hey, since we're here on the Falcons, can we talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, good.
You know, they pretty much just locked up the NFC South by sweeping Tampa Bay, and we got the tiebreaker, swept them. Kirk absolutely owned Tampa. Over the 2 games, he was 65 for 87. He threw for 785 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Cooked him.
Absolutely cooked him. However, this Atlanta Falcons team, they're 5-3, pretty much got the division locked up. Signs are pointing in the right direction, but still a lot of things that give you cause for pause. Mostly this defense, Terry.
Yep.
The Bucks without Mike Evans
and Godwin.
Without Godwin, finished with 432 yards, which is the most by any opponent since New Orleans had 444 last season.
Mhm.
So it was the worst defensive effort of the year. And the last 4 weeks, the defense has started to slide off a cliff and get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And thank God we have Jesse Bates back there intercepting a ball and forcing a fumble every fucking game.
Yeah.
We allowed Tampa Bay to convert 9 of 14 third downs. We had no sacks. We had no quarterback hits on 50 dropbacks during the game. Terry, they looked at our pressure rate for this season and compared it against the pressure rates of every NFL team over the last 25 years in the 21st century. We have the third worst pressure rate in the last 25 years.
Yeah, I was about to say, how
Of
come you guys
anything.
never have anyone that's a good pass rusher?
We've been saying it for 15 years, Terry.
Yeah, what's up with
Every
that?
offseason we ask. And then we always try, and it just doesn't work out. Oh,
Tough.
we'll get Matthew Judon. He had fucking 15 and a half sacks last year. Oh, guess what? He's a pumpkin as soon as he comes plays for us. Oh, we get Osi Euro from the Giants. He had fucking 12 sacks last year. Oh, he had 4 for us. Oh, we'll go get pay this big motherfucker from the Vikings. I can't even remember his name anymore. We gave him a ton of money. He sucks. We're gonna draft Vic Beasley, number 6 overall. Oh, he sucks. Like, it doesn't matter. We've tried and tried. We just can't find anybody who can rush the passer. And at this point, like, quarterbacks are just running around all day long. Our corner's got to cover for 7 fucking seconds every play.
Yeah.
Nobody's in like a rush lane. So when we play mobile quarterbacks, they're like, oh, we'll just hop out the back and fucking extend this play. I've watched a pathetic defensive line for 15 years being a Falcons fan. It hasn't been good since we had John Abraham and Patrick Kearney. And this is the worst it's been in that whole time period. So
Hey, man.
the Falcons
Yeah.
ain't flying high right now, but serious fucking red flags. And I don't know how they're going to fix it. Like, I don't know who else they play who's a better pass rusher. I feel like the only thing they could do is blitz more. And we're second lowest blitzing team in the whole NFL. So we're content. We'll just rush forward and not get any pressure and hope you guys don't score.
That sucks because that kind of it like doesn't show the strengths of what you got in your secondary because AJ Terrell is awesome, Bates is awesome, so it's like
Justin
tough,
Simmons,
man.
really good.
Simmons is really good. Yeah, that's tough, man. Should you trade Kyle Pitts for a defensive end? Kyle Pitts first rounder for somebody?
No,
don't do it. What if you get like Myles Garrett? Kyle Pitts and a first round pick for Myles Garrett.
No.
Would the Browns say yes?
No. The Browns would probably say yes. You're absolutely not getting a first round pick and Kyle Pitts. We'll maybe give you
Myles. You wouldn't take Myles Garrett?
Bro, we don't have a backup tight end. Like, all our tight ends besides Kyle Pitts are like these stocky white guys that are just in there to block and can't catch anything.
So
you can't run
wouldn't trade
downfield.
Kyle Pitts for a defensive end?
Nah, I wouldn't. I'll just mortgage the future. Go give up another third round pick and go get fucking somebody else who's disgruntled from one of these teams, man.
Man. Yeah, because I'm looking at your all-time sack leaders in your history.
John Abraham.
I mean, we know he was actually good for a decent
He was the last good pass rusher that we had, and he retired like over a decade ago.
2012 was the last time he played for y'all. Yeah, you guys look like shit. Vic Beasley is actually 5th in sacks for y'all.
It's pathetic. It's absolutely
37
pathetic.
sacks. 37 sacks, 78 games. Shout out to him.
The fact
Grady
that
Jarrett,
somebody with 37 sacks could be in the like top 10 is unbelievable.
Grady Jarrett, he's number 6 for you.
He's a defensive tackle, and he missed all last season.
35 sacks. Oh, man. Yeah, it looks like shit.
Bro,
this is crazy.
We're on pace.
Claiborne.
Yeah, Adrian
Who's that?
Claiborne. You remember
21
Adrian
sacks.
Claiborne from the Bucks?
No. He has 21 sacks for you guys.
Yeah, 6 of them came in one game against the Cowboys when they had their third string left tackle. He had 6 sacks in one game.
Yeah, this is crazy. Oh, dude. I don't even want to say it, but in your top 50 sacks of all time, there's people that have 7 sacks. In the history of Atlanta Falcons football.
It's been
7 sacks.
It's been our Achilles heel for 20 years, Terry, and we've never taken care of it.
Time.
We've never
Since
shown
the
it
21st
up.
century.
Yeah,
since people have had cell phones, the Falcons have always had bad pass rush.
This is why people are so mad about taking Michael Penix, because we're like, we could have had Jared Verse.
Yeah. I mean, Vic Beasley just didn't work out. He showed flashes, though, but he didn't work out.
He had 15 and a half sacks, and the next season he had 3.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He showed some flash, then it just went away. It is what it is. Browns and Lamar. You want to talk that?
Oh, Jameis Winston getting his first W as a Browns quarterback. I mean, this is the opposite of the Joe Flacco, Anthony Richardson situation, where it's like, they're like, why would you put in Joe Flacco when you have to find out? We know about Deshaun Watson. There's no more to find out. The picture is crystal fucking clear. He's a bum.
Yeah. He sucks. So he tore his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Oof, man. Yeah, he's out of there for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Browns might make the playoffs now. Shit.
Yeah, now that Jameis Winston's there, wow, suddenly the offense is humming. David Njoku is scampering across the middle, catching touchdowns. The whole team just seems reinvigorated now that they know they have an actual NFL player back there playing quarterback.
Too bad they traded Amari Cooper. Shit.
Too bad you guys didn't just cut your fucking losses and were like, oh, we look 10 times better with Joe Flacco. We could have kept him around for $3 million. No.
It had to be
Let's go
an owner thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It had to be, right? Yeah.
Their coach is one of the best coaches in the league, man. They've given him garbage ingredients, and he's been cooking up fucking 3-star meals for a long time now. There's no way that he was like, oh, I know in my heart of hearts that Deshaun Watson gives us a better chance to win than Jameis. There's no way.
Yeah. Hey, man, look out. That's all I got to say. They're coming. I mean, Jameis is going to be Jameis. He's going to give you some shit where you're like, Jameis, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm not talking about the pregame speeches. I'm talking about, like, in the game. You're going to be like, what are you doing? Don't do it. Gets away with it. He's going to throw some picks. But with their defense, this might be the best situation. They might actually be pretty good. Because I don't think Jameis is actually, like, a bad quarterback. He makes bad decisions. But if you can limit them, because their receivers aren't great. You know, I like Njoku, but I don't know. It was like top 8 tight end. Cool. But you don't have any receivers right now at this point. This might be a nice little situation. You know, your running backs running it okay. Browns defense is pretty good. I mean, beating the Ravens ain't no small task. I get it's a division game. Division games are tough, but it's not like Lamar.
It's just disappointing because it's like, damn, we could have seen this all season. Like, there's no reason to wait until week 8, halfway through the season, for you to put your best quarterback on the field.
2-6, man. Let me take a look at their schedule. So they got Saints is the next game. So that's probably gonna be
dub.
Chargers. They got Chargers and then the Saints. Chargers defense is tough.
I don't know who's gonna win that one. That's a toss up.
It's in Cleveland though, but we'll see. I mean, if they win Chargers and Saints back to back, then we can start talking. Because after that, you got the Steelers twice, then you got the Chiefs, and then you got the Ravens again.
They're done. They're cooked. Put a fork in them. They're done.
2-6. You don't think?
No.
You don't think they'll get to like 9-8?
No.
Or nah. All right. We'll see.
What would they have to go 7-2 the rest of the way? And they play the Chiefs, the Ravens, the fucking who twice? Like
Steelers twice, Chiefs. And the Ravens. And then you got the Bengals division game.
Yeah. If
Broncos
they lose
Dolphins.
3 games, they're getting to 8 wins. So, yeah, put a fork in them. The season's over.
AFC.
They could play spoiler to somebody. They could fuck up somebody else's season, but they ain't doing nothing for them this season.
Yeah, they probably will. Besides that, any other NFL talk you want? I mean, I saw Josh Allen looks great again. Tua's back. He said he's not going to wear a Guardian cap or whatever the fuck. Do you care about that?
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? What? Give me one reason besides that it doesn't look cool that at this point he shouldn't wear a Guardian cap. Give me one reason.
The Guardian cap is more for like dudes in the trenches. Like the type of concussions that he gets, it wouldn't help. Like he was
based on what? What led you to say that?
No, so the evidence is like if they stop the continuous like O lineman and D lineman, like you getting hit like every play type of thing.
So when a defensive tackle picks you up and slams you on your head, backwards
stop
onto the
anything.
ground. Okay.
You're still gonna be throwing up
Gotcha.
the three like you're Steph Curry.
Gotcha.
And fucking
So if a grown man can just pick you up and slam you on your neck, it doesn't matter what type of helmet you're wearing. That makes sense.
Hey,
actually.
look, man. I'm gonna just tell you right now. If I was him, hey, you ain't gonna ever catch me trying to truck somebody. I'm sliding as soon as I get past 3 yards. I'm like, oh, we're kicking a field goal, guys. Sorry, I can't fucking risk it.
Dude, if that were me, I'd be out there looking like Bubble Boy. I'd have motherfuckers bouncing off me in the open field.
Bro thinks he's tough, man. Bro really thinks he's tough.
It's that Hawaiian shit, man. Just give it up.
Yeah.
You might be tough, but you damn sure ain't durable.
Man, Tyreek Hill, just have a resurgence for me. That's all I need. I drafted him like fucking second round. Everybody's like, hey, trade for him. I was like, nah. Chill. We got this.
No Tyreek Hill. Just give it to A-Chain. I got him in both my leagues. Just give it to A-Chain.
You got A-Chain too?
In both my leagues, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't start him in the last game, bro.
Damn.
But I didn't know. I fucked up. I mean, I still won, but it's whatever. He scored 28, and fucking Mozart scored 15. Besides that, nobody gives a fuck about
I got them both.
Yeah, me too. Random.
Yeah.
Random as fuck. They run a lot, though, so shout out to the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a backup quarterback over here.
I think A-Chain is probably the best running back in the league. He just can't stay healthy. Because if you think about it, he's got, I think last year he had like 857 yards on like 100-something carries. So that's like 7-something a pop, 7.8, close to 8. This year, it's like the same shit. He's 4.5 yards a carry.
And he's great catching the ball.
Yeah, he's got 5 receiving touchdowns. He's fast as hell. He breaks everybody down. He's nice. He just, if he could stay healthy, he'd be like far MVP. McCaffrey, who is what I'd be saying.
Yeah.
I'd be like, who the fuck is McCaffrey? This kid, A-Chain.
The best of the best. Well, let's talk about the best of the best in soccer, Terry, because they just announced the Ballon d'Or last night. Rodri, I see you got the Man City swag on, repping. Rodri ended up bringing home the golden ball. This was
you want to make a solo clip, or you want to keep going? Do you want to end it, or you want to make a solo?
Let's just keep going.
All right, ride it out.
Yeah. So the voting was leaked on Sunday night. The one true GOAT, Fabrizio Romano, when he put it out, everyone was like, uh-oh, this legit. These are the actual votes. And it came out that Vinicius was second, Jude Bellingham was third. And so they both decided that they were going to skip the entire ceremony because...
Didn't they say all the Madrid players are not going?
Yeah. I mean, those are the only two who are nominated, but yeah. I don't know why everyone else would go.
Well, no, there's like other awards besides
David Alaba was like, damn, I got to cancel my ticket.
But I think because there's like other awards besides just the Ballon d'Or or whatever.
Yeah, but they didn't win.
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, they didn't win none of those other awards anyway. So it's just fun. They didn't win shit. I think they won like the best team award or something. It was like, no shit, you guys won the Champions League. Like, I don't know why you'd be hanging around for that. But just a lot of controversy, man, because Madrid were like, this is a sham. This is a farce. Vinicius put out a press release today where he said, I don't want to look to race, but you have to question the factor that my race played in this and the whole thing. But I have a whole line of thinking on this. But first of all, let me just ask you, did Rodri deserve to win the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, especially based on the history of what they do for the international tournaments.
Yeah.
Like, he deserved it because they gave it to Messi when he won. Let's just take Messi out of it because Messi and Argentina won the World Cup.
Yeah, he's a different standard. Maybe Luka Modric when Croatia got
that's
there.
The biggest one. It's the Modric one and the Cannavaro one. That's the standard you set. Rodri won a treble. Spain won the Euros. Ballon d'Or. Pretty simple. Look, now. Vinicius. And you can look at like the win percentage for Rodri when he plays versus when he doesn't play.
Historical.
Yeah, like I think it's like 70%, 77% win percentage when he plays. We only win 38% of the matches when he doesn't play. He scores some really crucial goals for us, winning some of these championships. He's by and far the best center defensive midfielder in the world. I don't think there's a lot of people even like close to his class in that singular position.
No,
so
there's nobody close.
It's not close. Vinicius, your numbers they're good. You were the best in the world right now. I think we've been spoiled by Ronaldo and Messi throughout the years. So it's like,
oh, we definitely have.
We're going to have to reset the numbers because before, dudes weren't getting numbers like that when they won the award. But, I don't even, how many goals did he get?
He
26?
had 26 goals and 11 assists.
Stop, bruh. Like, get the fuck out of here. Erling Haaland had
Wait a minute.
more than that.
So it's not racism? What?
Nah. But has a black guy won? Ballon d'Or? African guy?
He's not African anyway. He's Brazilian.
No. I know that. I'm just saying, anyone.
But yeah, George Weah won it.
I was about to say, I thought he won. So one. I mean, you maybe, but I don't. 26 goals ain't gonna do it, dude. Like, you can have that be a singular thing, but it's just stats, dog. Rodri's really good. You're really good too. He had a fantastic season. You were a big part of why Real Madrid won the championship. I get it.
I don't even know why he finished second.
Who do you think should have came in second?
The whole
Bellingham?
year, all we heard about was Bellingham. He scored more goals than Vinicius. His goals were in more crucial times. Like, he was the catalyst of their whole treble-winning season or whatever. I don't know if they won a treble, but they won a Champions League and La Liga. It was all about Bellingham. And then, he plays like shit in the fucking Euros. And now we're like... Mm-hmm. And then Mbappe comes to town and pushes him out of position where he plays as like a defensive midfielder now.
He's just a midfielder now. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it was Vinicius the whole time. Like, no, it wasn't. And then the other thing is like you mentioned, in these years where there's major international tournaments, your performance in that matters a lot.
It's crucial.
And he's been horrible for Brazil over the last 2 years. Neymar went down from injury. He was supposed to take the torch and be the guy and lead the team. And he's led them to a bunch of embarrassing defeats and get knocked out earlier than they should have. He didn't even finish his Pichichi in the Spanish league. All right. Didn't finish first in goal and assist in the Spanish league. Mm-hmm. Didn't win best player in La Liga. That went to Jude Bellingham. Didn't have the most successful dribbles. That went to Doku.
Yep.
Didn't win the Copa America MVP. That went to James. Didn't get the top scorer of Copa America. That went to Lautaro Martinez. Didn't have the most assists of the Copa America. That's James Rodriguez. What the fuck did you do that was better than everybody that would lead you to think that you're the best player in the world? I'm at a loss. I don't understand. Even if you compare it, you said throw out the Messi and Ronaldo shit. The year that Messi won it in 2021, when it was I think Van Dijk. It was
the Van Dijk controversy.
Yeah. Messi had 33 goals and 14 assists. He had 26 man of the matches that season. He won the fucking goal scoring title. He had the most goals and assists.
Yep.
He won the best player in La Liga award. He had the most successful dribbles. He was the Copa America MVP. He was the top scorer of the Copa America. He had more assists than anyone in the Copa America. That's, what is it? 33 and 17. That's 47 goal contributions versus 37. Hit the 26 man of the matches versus 3 man of the matches for Vinicius. And this is a year where everyone was like, oh my God, what a farce. Messi was so bad. and he had 10 more goal contributions and 23 more man of the match performances. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it wasn't an attacker's year this year. It just wasn't. Nobody scored enough goals.
No.
They just didn't.
If Haaland did that same shit from last year, this year, he would have won it. But he didn't.
No. He didn't do it. And he doesn't even play international soccer. I mean, Norway is never going to make, the World Cup or the Euros. So
that almost helps him. But I'm not going to lie.
Kind of he would probably still score goals and stuff. Their team wouldn't go far, but he would still probably score a couple goals, maybe 1 or 2 goals. Kind of like Sweden and Ibrahimovic back in the day. But It's just not an attacker's year, man. Like it is what it is, dude. Plus, I would say too, like I like Vinicius, but yo, attitude
Oh, here we
and
go.
that matters, bro. Like on the field when you are a complete asshole and dick to like the ref. And I get it, it's tough in La Liga being black and all that type of shit, but like his attitude when he first got to Madrid, it's just too much, man. Like kicking dudes, getting fucking yellows for no reason, all the dissent. I understand in a way, but sometimes you just gotta like have a little class. Have a
Hey,
little class, man.
to your point,
It
Terry,
matters.
a lot of people don't know this. There are 3 criteria that they vote on for the Ballon d'Or. The first criterion is individual performances, decisive and impressive character. The second one is team performances and achievements.
Yep.
The third one, which you mentioned, Terry, is class and fair play. And that is why I believe that Vinicius lost this award.
Probably.
There's highlight tapes circulating around the internet of all the shit that he's done this past year. From not accept like the time wasting shit where literally Bayern Munich players are putting the ball in his chest and he lets it drop.
Oh,
and then they put it in his hand and he drops it to the ground.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's ones where he's running up behind people 30 yards and then elbowing them in the back. There's ones where he's kicking out after plays. There are 4 different reds that he should have got for retaliation that he never got. On top of the 10s that he should have got for dissent, for screaming at the referee and all the other shit like that. And then to cap it off, it's like you just validated what everybody said, where as soon as you found out you weren't winning, you cried racism and was like, this whole thing is broken. It's just because I'm black that I didn't win this award. Like, that undermines all the like other cries of racism that he's had that have been valid his whole fucking career. Where people have legitimately hurled some awful things at him, whether physical objects or insults from the stands. And then like you go undercut all that and be like, the reason I didn't win it is because of racism. Number 3, class and fair play was the number 1 reason he didn't win it. And the only person he could point at is himself, man.
Yeah, he does have an attitude problem, but I do, both you and I understand like the La Liga shit, but the racism in La Liga is kind of crazy, but man, you just gotta, I don't know. Thierry Henry was pretty chill. I mean, like he spoke about it, but I never really saw him like in game, going fucking crazy, doing crazy shit.
I mean, the racism is nuts in La Liga from the spectators. It's not the reason that you lost votes in this global award. You know what I mean? Even in the Clasico, which we'll talk about in a little bit, Balde and Yamal were racially abused the whole game by Real Madrid fans. So it's like, this is not just a Vinicius issue, like he's being targeted for some reason. The biggest reason is you haven't been that guy, especially for Brazil. At this point, I'd take Rafinha as the best Brazilian player, hands down. I wouldn't even look at Vinicius.
Rafinha, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's got.
I think Brazil.
He's got way more goals in the system to start this year for sure.
Nah, he's good right now. Yeah, I mean Brazil's going through a problem right now, but individually. But yeah, Vinny, man, you just weren't good enough for me. Honestly, for me, he's just not good enough. I don't really like the stats are what the stats are, dog. I think this probably would have been like for an attacking player, and we could probably do the research later. Anybody could do research on it, but this probably would have been the least amount of goal contributions for any attacking type of player to win this fucking award.
Yeah, I think it was the least since Pavel Nedved won it over Thierry Henry in 2003 or something.
Now you might be able to say that's racist on that one, but this one, Rodri is fucking awesome. And Spain won the Euros.
Won 5 trophies. He scored in every final he played in. He scored decisive goals.
Rodri is awesome.
And
this is what the year.
Yeah, as you
this
mentioned,
is year 2024.
Yeah,
right?
year 2024. And as you mentioned, Terry, Rodri is so much better than everyone who plays his position compared to like Vinicius is that much better than the next best forward or the next best center.
No,
like,
facts.
Rodri is head and shoulders the best midfielder in the world, and it's not particularly close.
Yeah.
And so I think it's well deserved. I don't think you could legitimately say Vinicius is without a doubt the best forward in the world. I don't think you could say that.
I can't even say forward. Like is he the best winger? Is he the best attacking? If I'm saying who's the best attacking players right now, he's in the top 5, but he's not first.
Exactly.
If we're talking just defensive midfielders, we don't even have to do
just midfielders. Period. There's not a midfielder I'd take over,
bro.
And it's not
in
close.
The Premier League. In the top 3 teams, Liverpool doesn't have anyone in the same breath. Arsenal, Declan Rice is not even in the same fucking stratosphere as this kid. Like, come on, bro. Rodri's got it, dog. Shout out to Vinicius, though. You did have a hell of a season last year. I will say that. Just continue on the momentum. You probably will win another one. Stop crying wolf, though. Fucking just play your ass off, and you'll probably win another one, dude. But
win another what?
Or win a Ballon.
Another silver ball? I don't think so.
Win a Ballon d'Or. You got to play better, though. Hey, you got to get more goals, more assists.
I love how during the Clasico, Gavi came on for 3 minutes, fouled Vinicius, got a yellow card, and then stuck 4 fingers in his face to celebrate us being up 4-0.
Yo, Gavi's a pest, man.
And then Vinicius is like, all right, you guys are winning 4-0, but I'm going to go win the Ballon d'Or tomorrow night, so suck my dick. And then you didn't win it. So suck our dick. How about that, Vinicius?
Any other words on BD before Clasico?
Yeah. My mom gave me a Vinicius full kit. That's an adult medium that she bought for like a neighborhood kid for his birthday, and they sent he was a youth medium, and they sent adult medium.
Yeah.
So our first training session Monday after the Clasico, I asked my whole team, like, hey, does anybody want this jersey? And not a single person wanted it.
Damn, that's crazy.
These are 13-year-old kids, bro. So,
yo, that's wild.
Yeah, if you let the kids vote, he wouldn't have been on the podium.
He doesn't do it for me, man. Like, he did have some important goals, and Jude did too, man. But like, if I'm thinking of a whole snapshot of the entire year, Jude didn't do enough for the entire year, and Vinicius definitely did. Like, sometimes I don't even know he's on the field. Not with this team, but like last year's team. Like, I didn't know. Sometimes I was like, yo, is Vinny playing? Or is he hurt? Or what's going on? I never see, when I'm watching the Man City game, I'm a little biased. But if I'm watching the game, I'm like, Rodri, he's making plays. He's scoring goals. He's one of the best headers. He's like aerial duel guys on our team.
He's
really
destroying counterattacks. He's the metronome of the whole team. He's popping up on the edge of the box and hitting gigantic game winners.
No, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Shouts to Rodri, man. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah, for sure. Good shit.
And Spain in general, going through a resurgence, man. Like,
Barca's back, huh?
Oh, are they ever? This last week was huge for Barca, man. You know, all season long, they're winning La Liga. You know, they're first in goals in Europe by a gigantic margin, first in goal differential, first in all the metrics that you look at. But everybody goes, yeah, but you guys really haven't played anybody. We saw what you did in the Champions League.
Yeah.
The real tests are going to come this week against Bayern Munich, who beat us 8-2 under our current coach, Hansi Flick, not too long ago, and Real Madrid, the current Champions League winners. And Barcelona answered that call, and they answered it loud and with flair. Demolished Bayern 4-1 in the Champions League. 3 days later, demolished Real Madrid 4-0. But I think more than the performances, Terry, it's that they've gotten back to what made Barcelona so endearing and so alluring when I was a kid. It's all La Masia. It's all homegrown products. It's all kids that we've developed and invested in. It's not the Griezmanns and Pjanićs and Arthurs and these Coutinhos and all these guys that we spent hundreds of millions of dollars to integrate for no reason.
Do you care about that more than like an actual, why do stars not work out for y'all?
Yeah, I do care about it. I do care about it because that's been our history forever. Is that like Real Madrid
besides Messi?
We developed him. What are you talking about? He was a La Masia product.
How old was he when he got there?
11.
He was 11 when he moved to Spain?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, never mind. I'm an idiot.
But the whole thing has been like Real Madrid buys the Galacticos. You go get David Beckham, you get Zidane, you get Roberto Carlos, you get Ronaldo Fenomeno, you get Figo, you get Bellingham, you get Mbappe, you get Vinicius, you get Modric, you get Toni Kroos. You get all these guys who you paid big fucking money to bring to the club. That's your thing. Our thing is that we make them. And this week was a culmination and a coronation of the players that we made. Mark Casado, an afterthought under Xavi, playing for Barca Athletic. An afterthought to start the preseason until Marc Bernal gets hurt. Now he looks absolutely indispensable. Had 2 assists against Bayern Munich, had another assist against Real Madrid in the same week. Paul Kubarsi, 17 years old, starting at center back, has the best defensive partnership in La Liga with him and Inigo Martinez, who, by the way, at the beginning of the season, we were not even going to register. We were going to let him go for free to another team. And Hansi Flick steps in and goes, no, this guy is really good at leading the line, organize it, and make sure players are on the same level with him. There's a place for him. Fermin Lopez, coming back from injury, the Olympics, the Euros. Pedri, not La Masia product, but he's been with us since he's 17 years old. Back from history, back to his best. Danny Olmo, another La Masia player, came in, changed the game both games. Yamin Lamal, we don't even have to talk about him. He's better than Vinicius right now. Gavi, Alejandro Balde.
Yeah.
Up and down the roster, bro. We started 6 La Masia players against Bayern. We ended up finishing the game against Real Madrid with 9 youth team products on the field all at once. This is the identity of the greatest Barcelona teams ever. It's trusting the youth. It's developing them with an identity over a long period of time. It's not going out to go buy Paulinho when you have 2 defensive midfielders coming from the academy who are better. And so
I love it.
To get back to the Barca way of doing things, to get back to our identity, to get back to trusting the kids, and then, of course, to get back to playing with a big smile on their face, tiki-taking their way right through Madrid, hitting these inch-perfect balls over the top, celebrating in Vinicius' face. We're back, baby.
No, you guys played great, man. You guys played great these 2 games. But, just go ahead and give it to the real stars when it's time to score, though. Lewandowski and Rafinha,
so good.
Shout out to those 2 guys.
Rafinha's been reinvented under Flick, dude.
As long as he has a cool head, he's awesome.
And they moved him from playing out wide. Like under Xavi, their whole thing was like they're doing kind of what you saw from Man City at the beginning of this year, where it's like we put Doku on one side, Savinho on the other side, and they're going to beat their man one-on-one and then get in, and you know what I mean? That's not Rafinha's game. Like he's not a Vinicius.
He can do it.
He's okay at it, but he's not the best at taking on 1-2 players. You know what I mean? What he's best is running without the ball, attacking vertical space behind the defense, combining with teammates, opposite movements where Lewandowski comes to the ball, Rafinha right on cue goes behind the defense, and then finishing outside the box and inside the box. They moved him out of the wing. They're like, that's Jamal's place now. All right. We'll let him take on people and do the dribbling. He's really good at it.
He's awesome at that.
Rafinha, you go play in the fucking center next to Lewandowski, and man, have the 2, him and Lewandowski have benefited so much from that switch. Rafinha, the striker, the center forward, not the winger.
Hey, man. Which game did you like more? Sounds like you kind of like that Bayern whip ass before the Madrid one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of sacrificial for what's going on.
It seemed the Bayern Munich one seemed kind of like an exorcism. And I think it was really important to get that one first because, as you know, Bayern Munich have dominated us in Europe the last 10 years. We've had some of our most humiliating defeats to them. Of course, there was the 8-2 that ruined Nelson Semedo's entire career.
Sent Messi packing.
Yeah, and so to have the coach that beat us 8-2 now be on our side to face the team that's beaten us, I think 8 out of the last 10 games in Europe, and to demolish them that convincingly, that felt like a legit exorcism, where we let all the ghosts of the past just go and moved on from them, and we're a different team now. And I think after that, they had the confidence that hey, everyone after watching that Bayern game, they're like, yeah, that high line was crazy. Henry was talking about the whole game. They can't play this high line. They can't play this high line. This is nuts.
Yeah.
If they play this against Madrid, they're cooked. They can't do it. Well, guess what?
If they played that shit versus me, I would have scored. Too bad Mbappe and Vinicius are fucking what is going on with them? You can't fucking watch the line? That
Hey,
was insane.
We caught them offsides 12 times, Terry.
Yeah.
Using
And,
a strategy
even the
we
ones
can't
when
play.
They weren't, though. Even the ones when they weren't off, I was like, how are y'all missing these one-on-ones? Like, I thought Mbappe was one of the best finishers I'd seen in a minute. Ugh. That was one of his worst games. He played horribly.
He got caught offside 8 times himself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the most a player's ever been called offsides in one game since they've started tracking statistics. The most ever.
Doing that? You're gonna keep doing that?
Yeah.
They do that all year?
Yeah. We're first in history in offsides drawn per game. They're averaging 7 offsides a game that they're drawing from their opponents. And at the heart of it has been Inigo Martinez. I love Ronald Araujo. I thought he's brought a lot to this team. I don't know if he comes back as a starter anymore. Like when he comes back from injury.
He won't start beside Martinez?
No.
You were saying like he's the best fucking player.
I thought he was the best defender in the world, bro. But the way this team is playing, Inigo Martinez leads La Liga in successful switches of the ball. The diagonal balls to the opposite winger, he's hitting like 90% of them. It's unbelievable. Pau Cubarsí leads La Liga in line-breaking passes. Those like on-the-ground ones to Lewandowski where he sets to somebody else and they go through.
So they play more your style.
Yeah, and so they're really good in the build-up phase. They're really trusted. They make penetrative passes. But the thing I love about Inigo Martinez the most is like with Araujo back there, there was always like a plan B. Oh, well, I can still defend against Vinicius really well in space if he does get behind. Yeah. Martinez and Cubarsí, they know. If they get behind, we're fucking cooked. There is no plan B. So the togetherness, the synergy, the cohesion when they're stepping, Inigo Martinez leads this line. And you can see on all their offsides, they see the visual cue. The midfielder picks his head up, Inigo steps it 5 yards immediately. And that's how they get all those offsides. So as much as people want to like be like, oh, Mbappe's a fucking idiot, he got offsides 8 times. I think a lot of credit goes to Inigo Martinez for being so well drilled in those moments that as soon as he sees, oh, there's somebody with time and space facing forward, he picks his head up, we are fucking stepping it before the ball is even played.
I got you. It won't work all season though. But I mean, because that's just easy to counter. Like you notice, you can't just do that all year. Like people are gonna pick up on it. And eventually,
I think you're
gonna have to defend.
I think the key is having pressure on the ball, and that's what they changed in the second half against Bayern.
If you do have pressure on, if you do have pressure on the ball, it'll make it pretty easy to do. But I don't know, that's tough.
What they've tried to do is, and another difference under Flick is he's not pressing teams like all the way to their goalkeeper. He starts the line of confrontation like in between the 18-yard box and midfield, and so there's like only 30 yards of depth or 25 between your center back and your striker. So it's like a really compact distance that you have to play through or you have to play over the top. So it's like, hey, if you want to play these 60-yard long balls from inside your own 6-yard box where we're not going to pressure you, that's fine. We're going to have plenty of time to clean that shit up and adjust while the ball's in the air. Yeah. But once you get into that like range of confrontation, that 30 yards in the middle of the pitch, it's like we're holding that line at midfield and our forwards are pressuring your center backs. And so you don't really have a lot of time or space to pick that final ball. I think it could work for the rest of the year, but the crucial part is you got to have pressure on the ball. And the way that they've been doing this has been really interesting because you look at them and you'd be like, oh, Lewandowski is 37 years old. He can't fucking press. He can't get pressure on the ball. How is he going to lead this unit? Well, he doesn't. They drop him into the pivot. All he has to do is mark the other team's 6, and then Rafinha and Yamal press, or Rafinha, Gavi, Rafinha, Olmo, whoever, they lead it. And Lewandowski doesn't have to do all the running that you see all these other top strikers having to do. He just sits back and sits right in front of the defensive midfield.
Well,
it's really well designed. I'm as excited about this Barca team as I have been a fucking decade, Terry. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, no, it looks like you are for sure. I mean, they're playing the way y'all like it. Barcelona has the weirdest fans in the world. If nobody knows, they would rather them lose in a beautiful way than win in a different way. Like that team that Xavi got when you guys cheated and you got Aubameyang and Adama Traore and just like a bunch of randoms. I was like, that was like one of the most exciting teams. I liked watching them. I was like, oh yeah, this is a different squad. You still were doing some tiki-taka shit, but every now and then, those two dudes would just fucking shing. I was like, this is a good team, but The fans are like, "What is this? We hate this. Get this shit out of here. We like that. Pass it." Xavi, what's going on? Hey, man, it is what it is. Is this a Champions League winning team? Nah. Can you win La Liga? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I think this is a Champions League semifinals team. I think this is a La Liga champion.
Hey, look. If shit keeps going like this, I'm going to need FIFA to go ahead and nerf down Vinicius and Mbappe if they can't finish that type of shit. I'm just saying. Because in EAFC 25 or whatever, I don't want to call it FIFA anymore, they are OP. In that game I just watched, that Demolition, they are absolute trash. Yeah. That was garbage.
And Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí are both rated in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, this is their kind of first resurgent year or whatever. So we'll see how it goes. But God, Vinicius and Mbappe, because they still did have opportunities to score when they were onside.
Yeah.
That was awful finishing, dude. Who was the goalie? Was Ter Stegen? Who was the keeper?
No, Iñaki Peña, the backup.
Great saves.
Ter Stegen's out. His career's probably over.
Yeah. Hey, great saves from him too.
Yeah, he did. Saves. But a lot of the other the opportunities that you're like, man, I can't believe he missed that. They were offsides on. They only had 3 opportunities the whole game. All the rest were offsides.
I'm just saying though, even with them being offsides, they didn't know it, and they
right, and he still would miss it. Yeah, that's facts.
And I'm yeah,
it was real to you. When you shot it,
bro.
Yeah, that's facts. The other thing I'll say about Mbappe and Vinicius is that we just talked about Lewandowski and how they're kind of hiding him on defense, but he's still kind of being productive in that role. First 2 goals for Barcelona, Vinicius and Mbappe, close enough to provide pressure, allowed Marc Casado to just carry the ball forward and split the 2 of them because they're fucking walking. No pressure on the ball whatsoever. He plays an inch-perfect pass right through for Lewandowski.
Yeah.
That type of shit is inexcusable. That you have 2 of the best athletes in the world. You guys should be pressing teams. Teams shouldn't be able to fucking breathe against Real Madrid. Yeah. And for those 2 guys to both be walking around at the same time, it's that's not a recipe for success. We saw it with PSG. We saw it the last time Mbappe played when Neymar, and Messi all walked around together. You can't have a competent defense doing that. And the best teams like Barcelona are going to punish you for that shit. And we did on 2 of their goals directly because they wouldn't fucking press and engage the back line.
Yeah. So, hey, man, we'll see going forward how it's going to look. But so far, Barca might win the league. With the Super Galacticos team. Interesting.
Yep. Everyone said, oh, man, they brought in Mbappe. They're going to be so much better.
It's hard, though. It seems like it is pretty hard to get these guys into this system. It's tough. Because Bellingham.
That's the last thing, though, Terry. What is this system? What is Ancelotti's system?
I don't know. You know it. You might know it better than me.
Last year, it was a 4-4-2 diamond where Rodrigo and Vinicius were at the top. Bellingham was at the top of the diamond, kind of making a triangle with those 2 guys.
Like a false 9, kind of.
They played a flat 4-4-2 against Barcelona, where Bellingham was the right midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a system. This isn't 2001 anymore. All right?
It's not going to work out.
You can't fucking just do that and be like, hey, against the best teams, I'm just going to put players around each other and they're going to squeak passes through tight windows and their individual and relationism is going to be enough. It's not going to be enough, dude. You need to have structure. For even the right back shit, what's his name? Since
Lucas Vazquez, right?
Lucas Vazquez was caught in the middle of both worlds the entire game long because so much of their success and what he's best at is overlapping and joining the attack. But he was like, shit, I can't overlap. Rafinha is still hanging out on my flank, up near fucking midfield. So
he's not a right back, bro.
Yeah,
I feel like it was the same thing when you guys had what's that stupid ass midfielder you guys had playing right back 3-4 years ago for Barcelona?
Oh, Jesus.
You know who I'm talking about?
Mean Gaza?
Garbage. No, it was the
Dest?
Hispanic kid. No, not Dest. Worse than Dest, the midfielder that you had playing right back. I can't remember his name.
Sergio Roberto.
Yes, Roberto. That's Lucas Vazquez playing right back is Sergio Roberto playing right back. That's stupid. Having Camavinga play left outside mid, that's dumb as shit. Bellingham outside right makes absolutely no sense. Carlo, you're a good coach, but you can't just be like, hey, look, we're better. On paper, on the field, we got this. 4-4-2. Boom.
We're just going to out-talent them. We'll play a flat 4-4-2, a position.
Look,
no one's played that in 15 years.
You can say whatever you want. It's inexcusable to me and my IQ. You cannot be offsides more than 3 times. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That shit is the most simple shit ever. Just stay in line with the defender. You're 20 times faster than everyone on the field, Mbappe and Vinicius. Stay on your own half if you have to. Absolutely ridiculous, bro. That shit would have pissed me off. I would have subbed his ass out. I'm like, you don't know how to fucking stay on sides? Fuck off my field. What are you doing?
Go sit down next to Anthony Richardson.
Both of you. Get off. What is this? Trash. I would have redid the whole shit. After the first half, when I watched the first half, I was like, oh, this got to change. And they didn't change. They just kept doing it. I was like, all right, well.
Yeah, I don't like the change that I've seen from Madrid so far. And they really miss Toni Kroos, bro. They miss him fucking much.
Yeah.
Like,
and Modric is too old. He's still class, but, you know, it's a little harder for him to do stuff. It's tough, man, because they have a lot of really good players, but I don't know if they, like, I know you probably haven't tried to play with Madrid in EAFC, but like when you get the team and look at the players, I don't know what formation fits them. And like shout out to Carlo for like winning the Champions League with these dudes, but I don't know what system is going to work with Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham. They don't really have like a true striker that can kind of fit with them. So it's tough. It kind of reminds me of like Pep and City when we didn't have a forward for those years, and like, we just kept missing chances.
And
over
you were
and
like
over and
connected
over.
20 passes in the other team's 18-yard box without anyone looking at the goal to shoot.
Fucking Man United, man. Man United saved a lot of you motherfuckers from Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 60 fucking goals a season, looking like Erling Haaland. Because I'm telling you, that's all we needed. And then once we got it, we won the chip. But, whew, man.
Yeah, and then for Bellingham too, it's like they're sliding him down to be like the Toni Kroos role, where he's now like super deep. If he's not playing fucking right midfielder,
he's an attacking mid.
He's completely lost. Their cameras caught him saying to Mbappe during a Clasico, "Hey, you have to fucking finish one of these because it's tiring as shit running back."
It's a different position, man. So, it's tough.
Barca right now look like a well-oiled machine, even though it's powered by a bunch of teenagers. Real Madrid, island of misfit toys. Thank God you guys bought another one that you didn't need in Mbappe.
Yeah, long season, boys. Long season, but looking good for Barca so far. All right.
Pretty good. All right, guys, it's been another phenomenal episode of the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you dropped a like. Engage with us in the comments. Yep. If you have a compelling reason that Vinicius should have won the Ballon d'Or, I want to hear it because I haven't heard one yet.
Give me a good one. No racism either. I want to know. Why should he win it? Why?
Oh, speaking of racism, Terry, I hate to bring this up at the end of the podcast.
What?
Did you see Nick Bosa wearing the fucking Trump hat doing the post-game interview after the game against the Cowboys?
When he crashed the who was talking, it wasn't even him.
Like
he just
George
like came
Kittle
up
or
in
some shit, and he was like, "Hey, I'm here. By the way, election day is coming up." So,
that was funny,
Colin
man.
Kaepernick could on the same team could take a knee while like not doing an interview, not seeking out no cameras, just like, "Hey, I want to make a step." I talked to veterans and figured out like what is most respectful.
Yeah.
And they're like, "This is obscene. This is absurd. This can't happen." The NFL puts in like rules where you can't make political statements. But Nick Bosa can seek a fucking cameraman doing a sideline interview, ruin the interview, pull up with his hat, make a political statement, and it's totally fine. That's racism.
It was funny. It was funny. I don't really, it's whatever. I don't care. Do you care? I don't give a shit. It's so funny, bro.
It's just a double standard.
You seem more, not liberal, but way more like left-leaning than I do, which is kind of funny. I always thought you were kind of in the center. I didn't think you were like right or left or whatever, but it's kind of funny.
I mean, I don't like both groups, but it's like I I'd like for people to have like fair expression. I'd like
no, that's true.
I'd like for the government not to like tell my wife what's going on with her body.
Like, no, that's facts.
I'd like for them not to have a school shooting every fucking month, and for me to be able to go to work on time because they didn't close down whole sections of Charlotte for bomb threats and shooting threats. I'd like some of that shit. And I tell you what, I'd like the liberals to be a little bit fucking chiller. Like, not everything is a grand conspiracy. Not everybody who disagrees with you like needs to be fucking Me Too'd and dimed out and we lose their job. It's okay if somebody says something you don't like. It's okay if somebody has an opinion that upsets you. It's fine.
The only thing I want to see, I need bigger political signs from the Democrats. Every time I see some Trump signs, them shits are 50 feet wide. Yo, ride for your boys over there, Dems. What's going on? I need some big signs. All I see, I got a little 4x4. Harris Walls. Clinton and whoever the fuck her fucking vice was. Get it popping. Cover your house in blue. What's up? I need more pride over there. I don't like that. You guys are some fucking pussies sometimes. I just need bigger signs. That's it. That's all
Kamala Harris fold her sign up like a Motorola Razor and put it in her back pocket.
No, I'm just saying though, like, am I right? You live in a bigger city than I do because we're like 500,000. You guys are like about 1 million. I never truly see like gigantic, like any Democrat, whatever year. Never. I've never really seen like really big signs.
Because voting for Kamala is not like
oh, it's not cool anymore now? I thought she had huge fucking gain when, they got rid of Biden.
Not only is it not cool, it's not like something that you are going to be loud about. Like, the people who are loud for Trump are really loud. And they're loud all the time. And they're loud at stoplights, and they're loud in parking lots, and they're loud trying to sell you fucking hats while you're just trying to go to work and shit. They're loud with their bumper stickers. They're loud with their banners. They're loud with their MAGA hats on national television in an NFL game. They're fucking loud. Like,
yeah, they are.
So it's like, even if there's 50 Trump supporters and 50 Harris supporters in the same park, the only ones that you'd hear or see are the Trump ones.
No, that's true.
They fucking care more.
They do. They definitely do. I don't know when early voting is done. I guess it kind of
Friday.
Maybe, I don't know. I think it looks like I'm looking online. It says it varies by location, so I'm not sure. But hey, man, if you're gonna vote, go out and vote. Because voting on election day, I've only done it once, and I did it in a small town in where my parents were living. Still, that was one of the longest lines I've ever been in my life. So if you're going to vote early, get that shit done, get the fuck out, because you don't want to go after work and just sit in a line for 2 to 3 hours. Like, that shit is stupid.
And then after you vote, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't need to see a picture of you with your "you voted" sticker making your political statement on Instagram.
Nobody, you like that? We're already doing one right now.
Nobody gives a flying fuck. Oh, perfect way to end the podcast, Terry. You did remind me. Every year since the first year I voted for Obama in his second term, when I fill out my ballot, I always put in a write-in for the soil and water conservation expert.
Oh, fuck.
And so the first time I wrote in Tupac, I think I did Big L the year after that. Would you like to know who I wrote for the soil and water conservation expert this year?
Who?
Now, I was thinking more the soiled and water conservation exercise. And so that's why I picked Paul Pierce. He has my vote.
That's tough.
Nobody knows any more about soiling than your boy Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. Hey, we live, P. We live.
Master of soil.
With that note, North Carolina continue to stand up. Peace out, man.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.